Instagram people here now because I could drop that. Good night, folks. Good night. We are ready. We immediately getting into it. We're not saving anything. Our guest is here. Lyndon is here. How are you, my brother?
I am great, my friend. How are you doing?
Lovely. I am doing fantastic. And our special guest here. Hold on. Let's bring. Can I swap up? I can bring up to the top screen. Right. Can it be where both of us are the bottom and Candice? Let the queen go on top. Let the boss go on top. Right? Hold on, let me just bring somebody here. Come quickly. Hold on, quickly.
I have not seen her in so long.
Yes, climb up. Watch my stuff here. Climb up. Let's go.
Let's hang around and Linda and Jared, and today we have a special guest tonight, and she loves to sell cars. You know how long we have this thing to my folks, but this is
Candice, yes.
Candice.
You remember, yes. She's the top sales rep in Nissan. She sells the most cars, more than everybody else in Nissan.
That was the
So
best
if you want to borrow a car from her, we
introduction
could ask her.
ever.
No, we're not borrowing a car from her. Just buy cars from her.
So she'll sell it.
You have money. I have to use your tooth fairy money.
No.
Yes. All right, go. Bedtime. Good night. Love you. All right. Come, after start the show. Later, we'll talk.
We need popcorn.
Yeah, okay. Good. All right, folks. So y'all know the deal. We have Candice in the building here, and it's something Lyndon and I are super excited about because October is Women in Sales Month. In case y'all did not know and y'all were living under a rock. So we bought Candice, and as Zoe said, Candice is the top sales rep in Nissan. By the way, let's just ask this quick. Have you sold the most cars throughout the brand itself?
Throughout the Nissan brand?
No.
Throughout Massey
Through the
Motors?
Throughout
company.
Massey.
No. Ooh, there's somebody bigger.
Okay.
We actually have sales reps that do all brands, like could sell all in one, and then we have sales reps that are specific for each brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to call out my boy David Mahabia. He's actually at the top of the board, and he is representing the Hyundai brand.
Ooh.
Yeah,
nice.
So he would have sold way more than me. Yeah, he had more stock.
Okay, interesting. But all right, so tell us quickly. And you know, we like to talk numbers, and I'll let Lyndon take some questions. How many cars is selling on average? You want to share that info so you can kind of get people the idea, the volume that you do?
Yeah, sure. I do double digits. So I would do like about 10, 11 cars per month. Our quota is normally 6, but I have never gone with the quota. We always go for 100. We have this thing called 100 Club. So we always go for 100.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lyndon, what questions you have for our boss?
No, I think from one of since I actually got to know Candice has always had a particular drive. So I would actually start with the I have 2 questions, but I'll start with this one first.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I have many hot seats today.
What is your drive, your passion? Because I look at you on TikTok, I've seen you on Instagram, and of course I know you personally. What is your main drive and incentive in terms of what you do?
You know what I think it is that I actually like what I do. I love what I do. Yeah. So for me, it's always a new way of what I could do better because I like it so much. So it's fun. And seeing customers happy at the end, knowing that I'm educating somebody or knowing that I'm helping somebody out. Okay, let me see if I can put it in a different way. I have this thing about the universe. The more good you put out, the more good you get back in. So I always love pushing out good energy. And my job allows me to do that. So whether it be meeting a customer on a daily, talking to them, helping them out to purchase their vehicle. Sometimes I just forget that I'm actually selling cars. You know what I mean? I would actually see the results at the end of the month and I'll go, wow, I did that. But I was so enjoying what I was doing that I didn't realize that it was achieving those targets that I needed to achieve. Yeah. So it's something that I love. I love doing it. I can't see myself doing anything else, to be honest.
And we
So
have Abraham, who's a fan, saying he loves your content, which I do. You'll get into that afterwards. What's the second question, though, Lyndon? I like that first one.
Yeah. So the second one, and I think the second one could come a little bit deeper. I don't want to bring the second one up just yet. I'll save that one for a
Okay.
little bit later on. But if I just had to broach it with something else too, so you mentioned there that a large percentage of what is it that you do is just because you love it, right?
yeah.
Excuse me. So do you believe that you are actually selling to your customers, or is it that you believe you're helping your customer? Like, so sales has transformed to you in what type of way?
I believe I'm helping. That was the easy question. I believe that was real easy. I believe that I'm helping. And I have this thing, if it is that I'm going to purchase a car, I've always done this. I've always gone with this mantra. If it is I want to purchase a car, I give the customers what I expect.
Mhm.
Yeah. I always want to update them. I always want them to be excited about it. I want them to know about the values of the car that they want. So I'll always ask them, so what is exactly you looking for? Is it that you want a comfortable ride? Is it that you're looking for a bling? Is it that you're looking for a pickup because everybody have a pickup? Is it that you just need something economical? Or is it that you just need a vehicle to move around with your family? I always try to figure out what is their target and just go for that. So for me, it's just getting them to achieve what it is they want rather than me just selling a car. And that's
Love
why
it.
I think I would have branded myself in such a way where you hear what I said, call myself everybody Candice Gears.
Yes, because
Candice
that's just
Gears.
selling a vehicle is actually helping.
I'm actually helping. I'm actually trying to go that extra mile and to make them happy. I have had so much instances where customers will come to me after a long day, whether it be closing off the loan or having to even get through with the lawyers. And they're so frustrated. And they forget that, hey, you just achieved something really big. There's people out there who can't afford to buy a car, or there's people out there who wish that they were in their position. And I try and remind them of that. And they're like, oh my God, Candice, you're amazing. And by the time they drive out again, I forget that, hey, Candice, this is your job and you have to sell a car. You know, you busy here giving the customer counseling. Be happy. Let's celebrate with the balloons. Half the time there's always something, but Candice, why are you more excited than me? I don't know. It's the drive. And I think a lot of people missing that in sales these days. They just seem to be so focused on the target that they miss that you have to have a drive for sales. You have
Yeah.
to be in that mode all the time. You have to be in a happy place. If you're in a sad place, when I'm in a sad place, and I'll be honest with you, when I'm in a sad place, you can't get me to sell a car, you know.
That's a home
Yeah,
day.
no. I just be so down because I don't ever want to transport that energy onto customers. So I always have to take a step back, regroup, and then come again. You know, that kind of
Love
way.
it.
And some people out there, they will be every day they get up, oh God, I had to go and sell today. Oh God, I had to sell today. And they don't realize that you doing that is stopping you from selling. When I'm in a good mood and I happy go lucky, I can't selling like that because I'm so, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
Just
fully
such a
understand. And
it's
for
just
y'all
such a
who
mood.
and for everybody who's watching it, let me just tell you all in all honesty, because even Abraham said it. How you see Candace here is exactly how she is in person. The
Yeah.
whole vibe, it's constant, the energy and everything. And I want to use that as my question for you, Candace, because recently somebody asked me, who you think makes a better sales professional? But
Mhm.
since we want to focus this particularly on women, have you seen where do you think because you're a woman, a lot of people think that you shouldn't be like this energetic and stuff? You should be more reserved in terms of your behavior. Have you ever gotten that?
No, actually. I at one point in my life used to think that sales was more a man's job. I
Mm-hmm.
always saw it on TV growing up as a child. You would more see a man salesperson, right? You would
Right.
never hear of a woman salesperson. And I think me coming into the industry and meeting the customers that I have met, they look at this whole sales thing as a whole different genre. I'm surprised more women haven't jumped into it to do it because I think we offer that little tender touch. where we're not as masculine. We still have that, we have all the knowledge, and we also have that soft touch to it. And you wouldn't believe, I think it's important that more women should get on board in the sales industry, because they have a little umph over the men and they don't know. And it took me a while to realize that, because of course, my industry is mostly men. So how am Candice coming into this industry and standing out? Is because she found the niche. I found what it is was missing. The men, and they might have, oh yeah, they could tell you about the engine and everything below the bonnet, and they could tell you how much specs they have, and I want to have this, and they could, this kind of rugged way, but yet still they don't have the touch to say, hey, I'm just calling to see how it went with the bank, or how was your drive today when we did the test drive? Were you comfortable? Do you think it's something that you could feel? Most of them don't have that extra touch. Right. And for that, I'm giving it to the women today. You actually have the touch in sales if you don't know.
Right. So I'm glad that you raised that, and you kind of broached the other question that I had. So just kind of go back a little bit. So where you are now was not your first direction, right? So you came from another dealership from before. Was there another dealership? Was there something else before that in sales as well? You don't have to call the name, but I just say, but so you came from.
Actually, yeah, you know what? I'm happy for all the stages I would have gone through in my life, because it would have prepared me for where I am today. So I'm grateful for that.
Right.
But I actually thought I was supposed to be an accountant. I thought that I was supposed to be in accounts. I started off at Southern Sales, actually. A lot of people didn't know that. And I was
in sales itself?
Receivables.
Wow.
Yeah, in accounts. And I was doing accounts receivables and accounts payables. I remember in the cashier we had recently, I bounced up some of my old co-workers from Southern Sales. And yeah, I actually thought I was supposed to be doing accounts. I went to school for accounts and computer science. So this was not the direction I happened to go. When I tell people this story, they laugh. I actually wanted to change from accounts. I wanted to go into more accounting. And I sent out my resume to Southern Sales, all your true story. And on my way to drop off my resume for Scotiabank. On my way to drop off my resume for Scotiabank, it fell on the ground. And I didn't realize. And a consultant firm who does recruitment found it and sent it to Toyota.
What?
I think I got this question just yesterday. Everybody asked me how you got into car sales. And I was like, I did not choose car sales. Car sales chose me.
Yeah, boy. That's a divine intervention.
And that's how you started your career with Toyota.
And that's how I started it in Toyota. So Toyota called me. It was so funny. Toyota called me and they were like, hi, good day. Could you come for an interview next week? And I was like, who is this? They said, it's Toyota. I was like, Toyota? I said, I didn't send my resume to any company starting with T. I sent it to a company starting with S.
Right.
And they laughed. And they said, no, could you come in? And I went in for the interview. And that was it.
Right. And I know not speaking to HR. Where's her name again, boy? I forget, but in marketing. But I know they always bring you up and bring you in high pay. So let's ask this. You have it's mostly men that work on your team. So do you think that actually, for a woman who wants to enter into car sales, and let's just talk about in sales in general, what do you think she should consider before entering? And you can take it from your experience.
You have to be you have to have a strong back. Mm-hmm. You have to be very strong. Entering into a male environment, it could be very intimidating and they could look down at you at some times. I remember when I actually started into Massey itself, I remember one of the guys and them looking at me, and I'll never forget this line. And he said, those fellas are going to eat you alive. And I'm like, I wonder who is eating who now, boy. I never forget they said that. And it intimidated me. And I was a little timid. And I said, you know what? I'm not afraid of you. I know what I'm here for. I know what I'm here to accomplish. And that was the thing with me. I have this thing where I put on blinders. So I don't look left, I don't look right. I always stay focused on what's ahead and what goals I want to accomplish. And I
Nice.
realized with that thinking, I was able to move away from all the negativity. All. So I saw none. And again, I would continue to sell, 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 sell. And when I turn to look back to see where everyone is, they're still back there. And I'm like, how did I reach here? It was because I had on my blinders. I knew what I wanted to accomplish and I stayed focused on that. So I always tell people I'm not a follower. I'm always trying
Right.
to figure out what new is there out there that I could help my customers or help me to take that next step. So it was never me looking at another salesperson. It was me more so looking at Jared and Lyndon and seeing what they had to teach for me to get above. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
nobody on the sides of me. So for me, for women, you all have to find a way to just stay focused on what you have to do. Don't be intimidated by the men.
Because they
And
would try to intimidate you.
because they will. Guys, we still in that industry where we could still be looked down upon sometimes. And it's only when we on the top is then they notice us. So you have to always stay focused. And to be honest with you, I just be a little wrangling with the husband, because when I work and I not mail and I not zone, when I come home, so I think I still in that zone, I gotta boil down a little bit for the husband. So I gotta tell the women and them that you gotta remember when to switch it on and switch it on.
For sure.
So I like the point that Candice brought up there because, and this is just a general point as part of the conversation. There is a bro culture in sales.
Yeah.
Just as Candice says, if you look at most sales teams, um, you would find there's a bigger percentage of salespeople being men. The understanding is that you have men being better in sales, quote unquote. But one thing that I have actually seen for myself in terms of going through the hiring process and also being with colleagues who sell, there were women who I sold with, they were whooping my tail in automotive sales back when I was doing car sales. So I couldn't catch a couple of them in terms of their numbers. But again, you still had other guys who, of course, who were doing really, really well. And I think sometimes it is a culture that we need to move away from in terms of that whole bro culture thing. And of course, bringing more, kind of shutting off the gender eyes. I don't know if people still hire along those lines anymore. But
Yes, they
really
do.
focusing,
They
but
do.
really
Yes, they do.
focusing on,
They do.
yeah,
Because
really
if it was
focusing.
me and I had my own car company, sorry, Lyndon, I was hiring more women. Sorry.
Right.
Listen, I've been approached by HR people many times when owners of companies say, HR, we're looking for a man to do this, or we're looking for a woman only to do this. And I'm like, why? I
Right.
was like, so no, it happens, sadly,
Yeah.
but it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So as I said, the bro culture is still there, and I think it's something that even in terms of how we deal with issues where you have women that's part of a male dominated team, you tend to find that sometimes they don't listen to women well. They may think that they're being overly sensitive or whatever it is. All the little things that they say that, what's the word, trivialize what a woman, maybe what a female sales rep or just a sales colleague that just happens to be a woman. She might be raising something that's a pertinent point, and we don't always listen to it. So I just wanted to share that for anyone that's listening, that is at that leadership level. So we have to work on getting rid of that bro culture.
That's
And
true.
just
I
really
agree.
working on.
I have an interesting question because something just popped in my head wondering, do you think women empathize better with customers in the sales process than men?
They do. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Why do you think that is though?
Again, men are not the sensitive type of animals. Humans, they are not that sensitive. They would more look at it as a job, and they would be like, "Okay, we need to stay focused on this. We need to do this." And I remember. Okay, let me see if I could put this on a different angle. I remember when I started doing balloons for my customers. And because I think, again, it's a celebration. I want to show them that I'm celebrating. So ever so often I will do balloons. I'll just surprise them. And when I
Right?
come in the office with the balloons, the men used to watch me like, what is she doing? Why she have to be so sensitive? Why she can't just hand them the keys and go? And And they realized that I was getting a reaction from my customers, and a reaction that they never saw
Mhm.
because they were so focused on the sale. And they started doing, they
Right.
started coming with the balloons.
And
They
celebrating.
started coming with an
Yeah.
umbrella. They started coming with a little bottle of, and they started doing it. And I said, Candice, look at you. We
Setting the
turn it.
trend.
I had to make it a little bit more. Again, it's a sale. You have to celebrate it. It's not about you. And a lot of sales. Well, I have to talk about in my sales industry. In the
Right.
car sales industry, the salespeople and them think it's about them. It's not about you. It's about the customer that's collecting the car. And if you guys stay focused on that in all that you do, you would see your success go up. And it's when they started doing it and the balloons started coming in, the whole atmosphere changed. So,
I love it.
yeah, I would
Love
definitely
it.
say, yeah, more women, more the sensitive ones.
Yeah, because there's always put them in the back burner because, like, all right, for example, in customer service, it's mostly women. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
it is also when
Yeah.
I'm always confused as to why. When I'm just thinking, no, I just think like because if I'm not mistaken, in Massey and your team, you're the only woman. Wait, you're the only woman on the sun
Yeah. Only woman in Nissan
for
from
Port of
Nova
Spain
branch.
from our branch. Okay,
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
there is two in Port of Spain and there is two in San Fernando.
All right.
okay. So let's ask this because I wanna chop this up into a clip. Share with us some advice for any woman who's in a male-dominated environment. How can they, as I say, if they might be feeling intimidated or slightly insecure, what can they do so that they can always, as I say, rise above that, kick ass, and just, top perform at all times? What do you think they should be doing?
Such a cliche answer, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to be strong minded in this industry. You
Hmm.
can't be weak. If it is you allow little things to affect your performance, then you're in the wrong industry. I'm sorry to say. You have to be extremely strong and you have to be confident in yourself and just block out all the noise at the side of you. That's the most I could say, Jared. That's the most. And that's what kept me going is just staying focused, staying strong. When insecurities got into my head, I blocked out the noise. You have to
Hmm.
find that zen to block out your noise.
Love
And
it.
yeah, I want to add something to that because I know we put some emphasis, and this is something I Candice and I we just the other day was laughing about it too, right? So there's a lot of emphasis. Yes, we spoke about the bro culture internally, but you also have that male culture, especially where, again, male-dominated environment, men, cars, etc., etc. So you may tend to find you have male customers who come thinking that they don't need to get anything from a woman in terms of maybe hearing, different things
Oh,
about the
yeah.
car, because the customers. I've experienced that where some of my female sales reps, when it came to things like tech with IT staff, the women knew their stuff. They were certified and stuff, but the men didn't give them the proper hearing because they felt as though, well, what is she coming to tell me? She is, I am the IT man, whatever it is, right? And I've also seen it in the automotive space. So would you agree that sometimes even from on your customer side, I'm not sure if you've had a lot of those experiences, but you just find customers too, maybe the male ones, they have this machismo about them. Apart from, and I just want to lace this in here so we make it one answer, those who either they figure they know everything, but those who come and they have an agenda after meeting you,
Oh no.
right? So
Um
you have two sides of the
whew,
coin with that.
I think okay, that was so in the past that I would have had those issues. So let me see if I can remember how I used to deal with it. For me now, I you have to remember to stay professional. I
Right.
remember I was in another seminar and I was explaining this to a lady. You have to remember to always remain professional. At no time should it ever switch to lunch and how you're going and the extra long talk. No, it's always professional. So you have to control the conversation at all times. And again, this is where the masculinity and you have to come in. You have to remember to stay on professionalism. So even though and they trust me, Trini's like that, you know, God can let's get a real good looking girl. Okay.
Yes, so I
Thank
want
you.
to, lovely. Please share tips on that because
Yeah,
you
thank you.
know me, a lot of my clients are
Appreciate it.
women, and that's a big problem. Sadly, a lot of men are creeps out there,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are absolutely ridiculously disgusting with their behavior.
Yeah.
So just go through that again. When you have those men who trying to track you, what do you do? How do you shut it down? How do you just tell them cut the nonsense?
Exactly that. Cut the nonsense. I
Nah, because
Jared, listen to me. I am so stern with how I operate that I
mhm.
think even when I am interacting with them, they know it's not a boundary that you cross. I remember at one time I had to put on my WhatsApp status, married, keep it professional only. I had it on my status for a while.
Yeah, but I find that
Married,
sad. Like
keep it
I know so much
professional.
women in sales have to put those kind of things as their
Yes,
status.
it happens, but again, you really have to know how to control it. I don't allow it to go over at all. For some reason, I think the aura that I push off, I don't encourage it. So even if it
Right.
is you started, my face is,
So I
I will
remember
give you that confused look. Are you sure you want to go there? And then it just tap back. You know that kind of way. So you
Yeah.
have to find a way in this industry to make sure and always keep it professional. And mind you, the men and them tend to pull back. I don't think I've ever had a time where I really had to. If it is I have to feel uncomfortable, or if it is you reach the point where you make me feel uncomfortable in a transaction, trust me, my mental is better than that dollar. I will
Love
tell you,
it.
have a nice day. There's a sales rep next door.
I need that money.
Talk done. You understand? I don't encourage it.
yeah, and
They don't
I
do it. And
yeah
I have
I
a lot of male customers. And I think I didn't address one part of it as well, Lyndon. Men
sure.
do come in and think they know everything about the
Everything.
vehicle.
Yes.
Everything. So I ride there with you. Of course, yeah, boy, I know this too. And yes, Candice, and you know the engine could do this. Yes, I really see it do that, you know. I am like your buddy. I am there with you. And we're going to be learning together and we're going to be teaching together. You have to find a way to work around it. And
Right.
sometimes I am telling them things that they didn't know. So they're like, whoa, this girl know her stuff though. Because again, I'm in the industry that long. So when do you think you come into me to tell me something? I'm like, I know that though, but I
Yes.
love that you also know it.
That's
Amazing.
good.
You know,
Makes my job easier.
you have to always stroke the male ego, yes, but you have to also let them know, yes, I'm in this business long as well. And I also know it. But I love that you understand the product. You know,
Nice.
you have to find a way around it. You can't turn them down or shut them down or make them feel uncomfortable. Because men will come in that showroom. I have men come in, had a lot of customers come in the showroom and try to sell me. So I'm like, okay, let's do that.
Right.
And I would leave them to talk the entire transaction. I'm like, so seeing that you have now sold yourself that car, where do we sign?
That's problem solved. You
I
save
am
me
not
time.
asking you because you know your product and I know it as well. If it is I notice that you say something that is incorrect, I will correct you. But other than that, I love to see when my customers come in and they know the product. I enjoy it. You guys make my job even easier. Okay. But you have to know your product. You must know your product. No matter
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
whatever you're selling, you must know it. All the other frills and trills, you must know your product.
Right. So I'm glad you mentioned that as well. So I want to bring it. So even from on a manager side, because I have seen, and this is a reality. So I'm making sure I say it. I
Yeah.
have also seen where there have been some. I mean, it's male too, but I've also seen some female sales reps not invest in understanding their product, and they will maybe piggyback on a brochure or piggyback on the strength of another sales rep because oh gosh, not me, I cars, no, they're selling it or they're selling the item, even if it wasn't cars. I saw it in tech as well, right? But they not make the time to invest because again, you as a salesperson. So basically, what Candice is saying here, regardless of gender, if this is your role as a sales rep, you have to make sure you understand. So you have to learn. You have to start learning
Yeah.
about cars. You have to start learning
Sales is
about
always
whatever
about
tech.
learning.
You have to start. You understand? So you have to start learning about whatever it is that you are selling to match your level with the customer.
Yep.
You know. So I like the fact that you mentioned that point because I have also gone through instances where sales rep, male and female, they didn't take the time to understand the product and they felt as though, as you said, the customer could sell themselves, and then they still don't close the business.
Nope.
you know, that kind of stuff. So that's a really good point.
To be a sales rep, you have to be all rounded. You have to be that support system. You have to have the knowledge. You have to have everything in order to be that all rounded customer. And I pride myself on that. And that's why a lot of my business is repeat business, because customers trust me. They know that, okay, I'm going to call Candice and ask Candice this. And if Candice don't know it, she will tell you she don't know it. And she's going to get you that assistance to get you that information. And that's what they love. I always go that extra mile.
I
You
love
can't
it.
just say, well, I know it's and then you go hide, and then you're not going to sell a car. You have to always be there present. And even if it's something that you don't know about, that real tech, can something just happened to the car, and over here I say, okay, let me get you that service technician now. Let's see what's going on. And when I'm doing that, I'm interacting with them, because I also want to know what the technician's saying. So when the next time it happened, okay, yeah, it have to be the battery. Something there went wrong with the plug. And this time you swear, and this work service, you know. But because I'm always there trying to listen, trying to hear. So wait, Callan, what was the issue? And my service guys and them just call me back and give me back my reports. So when
Oh,
they do that, they
nice.
don't realize that they're teaching me. So now I also know. So it's not just about the car. It's about the after part of the car. It's about the follow-up of the car. I want to do every certain part, not just the sale of it.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I-
excellent. So
I-
I'm trying to think of some questions that we can wrap it up, because I don't want to keep it there too long. I mean, I know I had a little long day today, so I want to grab some
Yeah,
easy sleep.
but I don't know what happened today, but today was crazy.
Yeah, that's the same thing you
Oh
told me on your
my
message.
gosh.
Candace was like, Lyndon, boy, I can't even listen to that message later.
Yeah, she tell me that.
Just like that,
I remember the night before, Candice, you said, you tell me, nah, you can do it tomorrow. No, tomorrow Judy day is an easy day.
Yeah, no, whoa.
You're good. Mount yourself there in a good way.
No. But what I like about sales these days is that look at social media. Social media is amazing, guys.
Yeah.
That TikTok, oh my gosh. TikTok is have me engaging with the customers even more, and I didn't even realize. Because normally I would hide myself behind Instagram and Facebook, as you all know. And you too know, Candice don't like video. Jared,
Yep.
you know how long you're trying to get me to do some videos. And I don't like it. I prefer to be in the background, meet with the customer one-on-one, or I will do my social media, Facebook, Instagram. But since I started doing TikTok have gotten me closer to the customer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well,
And
It does, but expand so people who watching can
Yeah.
understand exactly the context in mean.
yeah, so I am there and I'm teaching them now. I really went there to teach her, because I'm saying, okay, Candice, you have all these years of experience. You have seen the ups and downs of what a car sale could be, how to get a loan, and you have these little things that you keep hearing your customers. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. I said, okay, I'm gonna use the TikTok for that, and I just started doing it normal, guys.
right.
And my phone have been ringing off the hook. I'm like,
Nice.
what is going on?
Because you've done a lot, like you're always talking about the debt service ratio.
Yeah.
Then I know you spoke about, what was one of the things you spoke about, boy? It was like all your expenses that's involved when you buy a car. So like
Yes.
when people will consider gas per month, changing the parts, all these other things. So
Yes.
I love the fact in terms of what you're doing. And I think, as I say, just from, as I say, a sales perspective, I think people always talk and mention to me the fact that, hey, I always say content and inspiring, but I think, as I say, especially because when you see it's a woman who's doing it, and they don't normally see women doing it, and it's a woman in sales, like one of the things I'll tell you is that you are inspiring a lot of women out there. And we know the reach that TikTok has, so that would mean there are young women who are seeing your platform, probably teenagers and stuff, seeing it, and they might just be wondering what it is that you do. Because if this is what sales is, I like this. Because it's not the old school spammy crap that what they're accustomed seeing. They're seeing somebody actually as a professional. And I think that is actually what is remarkable about what you do and how you carry yourself and the success that you've been having.
Yeah. If I had to say any additional thing too, I would say, I mean, like talking to Candice, she's always had a little bit of a fear of video for a multitude of reasons.
We buffer, we fed up buffer.
Sorry.
Now you regret it start as soon as we tell you to.
But
good. Wow.
if you pay attention to Candice's comments, so like when Candice talks about getting closer to the customer, I'd like to take the time to study some of people's content. So when you pay attention to Candice's comments, you get to understand exactly what Candice means by getting closer to the customer, because the comments tell you exactly what that particular post means or meant for the audience, and that is what's going to generate. Also, if you pay attention to her bookmarks, her shares, etc. So yeah, you are doing a lot in terms of educating, and it seems as though you're really comfortable with it, because you don't seem to be feeling as though you're selling, but you are just sharing, and that you now have your own little audience, and you're building a community. Yeah.
Guys, I honestly did go on TikTok to sell, because again, Facebook and Instagram has been very successful for me, as you know. So,
But
and
you know the best way. You know the best way to sell is by not selling.
Yeah, well, I was like, but I go on TikTok to sell Cardo. I just went on TikTok to share.
Right. And I'm now checking it out here, Lyndon. So hold on. When did you start posting on TikTok, Candice?
It would have been the heaviest time I started serious was August, the first week of August.
So, and that's around TEB when TEB was out, because I'm watching your TikTok page, right, Candice?
Yeah.
So from this video would have been, so between now and she has posted, Candice has about 15,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah.
Right?
Basically,
that is amazing.
About a month, 2 months. I saw the TikTok when I started. I wasn't paying the TikTok much attention, because again, I didn't understand what I should be doing on it, or I didn't understand the matrix of TikTok too well. And I was there hovering at 1,500. When I said, okay, let me get serious with it and really show people who I am, it's just 15,000. Yeah. And I'm like, damn.
And that just translated into unlimited pipeline of inbound leads.
Yeah. So now, but now I have to be very careful of the content, because I want people to understand it's about learning. And I feel like if there's Trinidad needs some financial literacy, to be honest with you.
Just today, I was talking about that, like the financial literacy levels in this country are very low. We do not have an understanding of finances in this country.
I think we should be teaching these things in school to our kids, to be honest. It's so sad what I see out here, but I try my best to help. My best. Look, I was given an instance of a customer who came in this week, and a young guy, very ambitious, and he came with all his envelopes, everything, and he said, I came to buy a car. And I said, okay. He said, but family, this is the first time, I know. I said, well, okay, let's start. And he said, I said, well, how much are you looking for right now? And by the time we were done, he told me $2,000. I said, $2,000 for the month? I said, all right. I said, Lord, you must be Senate. I'll go. And I sit him down and I gave him financial guidance.
Right.
And by the time he was done, I make sure he saved the number, everything. I know for a fact he's going to be a future customer.
Yeah, that's a future customer.
A fact. He sat down with me. I told him what I need him to do, where I need him to go. I said I needed to head to the credit union. I needed to start saving this amount every month. And I guided him. Yes, so I was talking to my son. He left. I felt so good you wouldn't believe. And I said, look at how I just took a whole half an hour on something that was not a car seat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
everything had to be a sale.
And I know he's going to tell his friends and his family. And I just did it out of the goodness of my heart.
And that's the Candice Care side of things, right?
That's Candice Care's. I tell you, I think it's just me.
It's a natural thing, right? Yeah.
It's natural. Yeah. It's natural. So, folks, if you're watching this, I just want to say thanks so much to you, Candice, because I think, as I say, you are an amazing example. The inspiration that I know that you're giving to lots of women out there is impressive, and I'm sure you probably need to ask Krian this. I'm sure because of you, we've seen a lot more women applying for jobs at Massey to be a car sales rep, because they're seeing somebody do it and they want to be like that. And we know there's opportunity for everybody in the market. So I think you're just creating and inspiring so many women out there. So thank you for being our first guest on October Women in Sales Month. I don't think we could have started off with anybody better.
I tell all the women out there, guys, just be strong. Be strong. Don't even stop looking at yourself as a woman. Look at yourself as a leader, and just.
That's a big one.
Correct.
I love it.
Yeah. All right,
Nice.
guys, enjoy.
All right.
Go back. And try to mellow back down for the
All
husband.
right.